A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So let's inshallah look at these examples first. So first example, as you can see that in this practice sheet, basically the objective was, so inshallah we can revise our previous concepts, number one, and number two, we can also try to identify our previous subject, and that was hal and sahibul hal. So let's inshallah begin with our first example. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. Now, obviously, as you can see here, this ma is for negation. Okay, so let's just pretend that this ma is not here, because I always say this, that for the sake of analyzing, you can just skip, or you can just pretend to ignore the beginning word for interrogation or words for negation, and you can just inshallah look at the rest of the sentence. So this ma and this waw, depending on the previous context, this waw could be istenafiya, which means that a new sentence is starting, or this waw can be waw of uh, atifa, which means that it's a continuation of the same subject. So ma is ma of negation. After that we have kana. Now let's inshallah revise our core concept. So we all know that kana, or any member of kana family, when it comes, we simply call this one as that this kana is fail naqis. After that we need two things: ism of kana and khabar of kana. Now kana, because kana is number one in the madi chart, so it has a built-in huwa, and that huwa can play the role of ism of kana. But if we get an ism in rafa status, then that ism will become the ism of kana, and built-in pronoun will be cancelled. As you can see, Allahu is a ism in rafa status, so Allahu will play the role of ism of kana, and built-in huwa inside of kana will be cancelled. So kana fail naqis, Allahu is the ism of kana. Now you need the khabar of kana. And with regard to khabar, whenever, please pay attention, whenever it comes to khabar, there are three possibilities: one word khabar, a complete sentence khabar, or shibhul jumla khabar. Now let's see what we got here. Liyu'azzibahum. Obviously this hum is a attached pronoun. Rest of the word is liyu'azziba. Now please pay attention. Azzaba and yu'azzibu. Azzaba and yu'azzibu, this is the normal, you can say, fail madi and fail mudare. And this lam, please pay attention, we have a list of words which can make mudare mansoob, and we have a list of words which can make mudare majzoom. This lam is from those words which make mudare mansoob, and that is why yu'azzibu has become yu'azziba. So this lam will be called lam of nasab. It's called nasib. Nasib means the one which gives nasab to fail mudare, and yu'azziba is fail mudare, and yu'azziba, it has a built-in file, and that built-in file is huwa. Why? Because it is number one in the mudare chart. And then whom is an attached pronoun. And what is the principle? Whenever, without exception, whenever pronoun is attached with the fail, pronoun is always called maf'ul. So this lam is nasib, yu'azziba is fail mudare, it has file which is huwa, and then hum is maf'ul. So this liyu'azzibahum is a complete jumla. You got fail, you got file, you got maf'ul. And this complete jumla is playing the role of khabar of kana. Allahu was the ism of kana, liyu'azzibahum is the khabar of kana, and then wa anta fihim. Now inshallah we talk about this waw anta. Please listen this point very carefully. Whenever you see independent pronoun, it is a sign that a new jumla has started, and this independent pronoun will play the role of mubtada. So anta will become mubtada, and fi him, fi is jar and him is majroor. This jar majroor will play the role of muta'alliq, but because there is no khabar, so this muta'alliq will play the role of shibul jumla khabar. So basically anta fihim is a complete jumla ismiya in which anta is mubtada and fihim is the shibul jumla khabar. The question is, let's translate it first. Wama kan Allahu, and Allah is not, or Allah, literally it means Allah was not. Okay, because kana mean was. So, but because we know that in case of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes we translate kana as is. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not liyu'azzibahum, the one who punishes them. So Allah is not the one who will punish them, or Allah is not the one who should punish them. Wa anta fihim, and you are in them, or you can say, or you are in the midst of them, or you are present in them. Now please pay attention. This wa anta fihim, this vow is called vow haliya. Anta fi, basic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that how can Allah punish them while the situation is, the condition is that you are in them. So this anta fihim is a complete jumla haliya. Please listen this point very carefully. We have learned in the previous lesson that hal, please pay attention, hal appears in three forms: one word, or complete jumla, or shibul jumla. In this case, anta fihim is a complete jumla ismiya which is coming as hal. Second point, when hal comes as complete jumla, in those sentences you will see a connector between sahibul hal and hal. In this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the sahibul hal. And what is hal? Anta fihim. Situation is anta fihim, and whose situation is Allah. Allah is not going to punish them when the case is that you are present in them. Now this vow is rabit. Please pay attention. Vow is what? Rabit. Sometime as there are three possibilities of connector. Number one, vow. Number two, a damir, a pronoun. And number three, both of them. In this case, you have both of them. Both of them are coming as connector between sahibul hal and hal. So the sentence is, how Allah is not going to punish them while you are in them. I translated this vow not and, while, because it is a vow haliya, it is a condition, it is a situation. Okay. Second example is very similar. It is basically same ayah. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. Again, ma is negation, kana fail nakis, Allahu is the ism of kana, mu'azzibahum. Please pay attention. Mu'azziba. This mu'azzib, it was actually this word mu'azzib. It is not a fail. It is a ism. Mu'azzib means the one who punishes. And tanween has been finished because mu'azzibahum has become mudaf ilay. Because mu'azzib was going to play the role of mudaf. For this reason, tanween has finished. Secondly, please pay attention. Khabar of kana is in nasab status. That is why mu'azzibun, no, mu'azziban. It was normally mu'azziban, the one who punishes. But because mu'azzib was going to play the role of mudaf, so tanween has been removed. So mu'azzibahum is a mudaf ilay. So it is basically one word khabar. Because you know, one word khabar can be clearly one word, mawsuf sifa, or mudaf ilay. In this case, mu'azzibahum is still one word khabar, but it is a mudaf ilay khabar. So kana fail nakis, Allahu ism of kana, mu'azzibahum Khabar of kana is mudaf mudaf ilay. Wahum yastaghfiruna. Waw haliya. Hum mubtada. Yastaghfiruna fail mudare. Number 3 as complete jumla khabar. Khabar for who? Khabar for whom? So hum yastaghfiruna is a complete jumla ismiya, and this complete jumla ismiya is playing the role of hal. You know why? Look at this one. Wama kan Allah was, Allah is not the one who punishes them. Wahum yastaghfiruna, while the situation is that they are seeking forgiveness. Yastaghfiruna, they are seeking forgiveness. So now look at this one. Hum yastaghfiruna is the hal. And if you ask yourself, it is the hal of who? It is the hal of these people. Whom? These whom. Basically, whom yastaghfirun, because they are the one who are seeking forgiveness. So this whom is the sahibul hal, and this whom yastaghfiruna complete jumla is the hal. Now please listen this point very carefully in order to remind you our previous lesson. Please listen very carefully. Hal appears in 3 forms. What are those 3 forms? One word hal, and that will be one word nakira in nasab status. Secondly, complete jumla hal, as you can see, hum yastaghfiruna. And third possibility is that hal appears as shibul jumla. Now, with regard to sahibul hal, sometime file is the sahibul hal, sometime maf'ul is the sahibul hal, sometime mubtada is the sahibul hal, sometime khabar is the sahibul hal. In this case, because whom is the one whose hal is being described, and you know that whom is maf'ul. So if I ask you that who is sahibul hal, this whom, which is maf'ul, is the sahibul hal, and this hum yastaghfiruna is the hal, and this waw will be called rabit, connector, or waw haliya. Okay, so this was our second sentence. Yastaghfuna minan nas. Now yastaghfuna, istaghfa, yastaghfi. This is the madi and mudare. Istaghfa, yastaghfi, and then yastaghfi, yastaghfu, yastaghfu, yastaghfani, yastaghfuna. So istaghfa, yastaghfu. Okay, so yastaghfu is fail mudare, and it comes from the meaning of to conceal something. Okay, so yastaghfuna fail mudare number 3, it has built-in file, and that is whom. Minan nasi jar majroor mutaalliq bil fail. Okay, wow is atif or connector. La yastaghfuna, la is la of negation, not la of forbidding, la of negation. You know why? Because after the la, mudare is normal. If mudare becomes majzoom, then it is la of forbidding. If mudare remains normal, then it is la of negation. So yastaghfuna fail mudare number 3, minallahi jar majroor mutaalliq bil fail. So yastaghfuna, they conceal, minan nasi, from the people, wala yastaghfuna minallah, but they are not the one who can conceal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why is that the case? Wa huwa mahum, the situation is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with them. Once again, huwa mubtada, mahum. Listen this point carefully. Mahum is shibul jumla khabar, and you know shibul jumla has 2 possibilities, jar majroor and special mudaf, and we know that special mudaf is actually called zarf. Special mudaf, the technical name of special mudaf is zarf. So ma and hum, this ma hum is a zarf and mudaf ilay, because zarf also have mudaf ilay always. So huwa is the mubtada, and ma hum is shibul jumla khabar, and this complete jumla ismiya is the hal. Now very simple, It is the hal of who? Huwa mahum. It is the hal of who? It is the hal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with them. Okay. So wow is haliya and huwa mahum is the hal. Yastakhfuna minan nas, they conceal from people. Wala yastakhfuna min Allah, but they are not concealing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa huwa mahum, while Allah is with them. Next example is fatamassala laha basharan sawiya. It is the example from Suratul Maryam. When Maryam alayhi salam, when she was in seclusion and Jibreel alayhi salam came and Jibreel appeared as a human being. This is the ayah regarding that event. So fa could be istinafiya, fa could be sababiya, fa could be depending on the context. So tamassala, please pay attention. It is from the bab tafa'ala family. So tamassala is fail madi. Do not be confused because of this ta in the start, because you know that in mazid fi families, tafa'ala family start with the ta. So tamassala, it's fail madi, number 1 in the madi chart. It has file which is huwa, laha, jar majroor, muta'alliq. Okay, basharan sawiyan. Now please pay attention. Fatamassala, he appeared, or he basically assumed himself, laha, for her. Jibreel alayhi salam assumed himself or resumed himself, or he appeared, laha, for her. Her mean Maryam alayhi salam. And basharan is the state, is the situation of Jibreel alayhi salam, which means that basharan is the hal, and basharan has a sifa which is sawiyan. So mausuf and sifa, basharan sawiyan. You can check the meaning of, I did not check the meaning of sawiyan. Basically it's complete sound. Okay, so you can still check the meaning of sawiyan, inshallah. So basharan sawiyan is a mausuf sifa, but this mausuf sifa is playing the role of hal, and this is when hal is just one word in nasab status nakira. So that is the case here. Basharan sawiyan is the mausuf sifa, one word hal of who, of huwa, because tamassala has a built-in file, that is huwa. So huwa, which is file, is the sahibul hal. Alam tara ilal lazina kharaju min diyarihim wahum ulufun hazar al maut. Now a is a questioning word, and lam comes for negation of fi'l mudare. Okay, tara, please pay attention. This tara, because of this lam, tara has become majzoom. Okay, because tara in actual world it has ya at the end. That ya has been removed. Those words which have ya at the end, when they become mansoob or majzoom, their ya is removed. Okay, so alam tara, lam tara. Now tara is a built-in file, that is anta. Alam tara, have you not seen? Ila, jar, allazina kharaju min diyarihim. Please pay attention, it's a revision time. Allazina is a mausul and sila is complete jumla. Kharaju min diyarihim, complete jumla. Kharaju min diyarihim. Kharaju fail madi, number 3. It has file hum. Min diyarihim, min is jar, diyarihim is majroor, and diyarihim itself is a mudaf ilay. Allazina is a mausul, kharaju min diyarihim is the sila. Okay, and this wow is haliya, and hum mubtada, ulufun khabar. Hum ulufun is a complete jumla hal. Inshallah we see that whose hal is this. Hazara, This hazara al-mauti, hazar al-mauti. Please pay attention. This hazar al-mauti is also the file. Okay, sorry, maf'ul, hazara, nasab status. Okay, hazar al-mauti. You see, al-mauti is in jar status, and we know the rule. When ism is in jar status, look what is before it. If before it there is no preposition, it is a mudaf mudaf ilay case. So hazar al-mauti, those who are fearful of death. Okay, now please listen to this point very carefully. Kharaju was fail and file min diyarihim, jar majroor mutaalliq, and hazar al-mauti is the maf'ul for who? For this fail kharaju. Okay, and this middle part, wahum ulufun. Ulufun mean to be in thousands. Okay, to be in thousands. Wahum ulufun, and their condition was that they were in thousands. This is the condition of Bani Israel. As you know, after Musa alayhi salam, when they spent their 40 years in that desert, and eventually when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a prophet, Jalut alayhi salam, and with that prophet they were going to do jihad, which they denied. Okay, this ayah is in that context. Now, alam tara ilal lazina, have you not seen those kharaju min diyarihim, they exited from their home, wahum ulufun, and their condition was they were in thousands. Hazar al-mauti, they were fearful of death. Right? Now, please listen to this point very carefully. This wahum ulufun, hum ulufun is the hal. And very simple, it is the hal of who? It is the hal of these people, kharaju, those who were exiting. So if I ask you, who is sahibul hal? Inside of kharaju, there is a file, and that is hum. Hum is the sahibul hal, and this hum ulufun, complete jumla, is their hal. Okay, please, you are more than welcome to stop me at any point, inshallah, if you have any question. Okay. فَخَرَجَ عَلَى قَوْمِهِ فِي زِينَتِهِ. Again, fa could be anything depending on the context. Kharaja, fail madi, it has file which is huwa. Ala qawmihi, ala is jar, qawmihi majroor, but qawmihi itself is mudaf mudaf ilay. Fi zinatihi. Now this fi is jar, zinatihi is majroor, and zinatihi itself is a mudaf mudaf ilay. Now fakharaja, and he came out, ala qawmihi, upon his nation, fi zinatihi, when he was dressed in his beauty, in all of it is basically about Haman. Okay, I think either Haman or Karun, I can't remember exactly, don't quote me on that, but it is from that nation of Musa alayhi salam, when he was a rebellion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him a lot of wealth, and when he was dressed in his beautiful clothes and all of his jewelry, and he came out, this ayah is regarding that. Now look at this one. Kharaja ala qawmi, he came out on his nation. Okay, kharaja fail and file, ala qawmi is the mutalliq bil fail. Fi zinatihi, this is the hal. It is the hal of who? It is the hal of the one who came out. And who came out? He, huwa. So inside of kharaja, there is a file huwa, and that file will play the role of sahibul hal, and fi zinatihi is the hal. And this is the case when hal is a shibhul jumla, because I said in the start, hal can appear in three forms. One word hal, which you have seen in the example of Basharan Saviya. Complete Jumla Hal, which you have seen in these two examples. And then Shibul Jumla Hal, which you have seen in this example. Okay. Wahaza siratu rabbika mustaqiman. Haza, very simple. Haza is ismul ishara, and when ismul ishara will come, ismul ishara will play the role of mubtada. Okay, siratu, siratu, khabar. Rabbika, siratu. Please pay attention. Very interesting point here. It's a revision time again. Siratu Rabbi. Now, Rabbi in jar status. Obviously, Siratu is not a preposition, which means that Siratu and Rabbi are mudaf mudaf ilay, but at the same time, Rabbi and Ka is also mudaf mudaf ilay, which means Siratu mudaf, Rabbi Ka mudaf ilay, and mudaf ilay itself is also mudaf mudaf ilay. So basically, Siratu Rabbi Ka will become one thing. Haza, this is Siratu Rabbika, path of your Rabb, right? Mustaqiman, Mustaqiman is the hal, right? Mustaqiman is the hal, and it is the hal of who? Hal of Siratu. And now, what is the label of Siratu in this example? Siratu is khabar, right? So in this case, Mustaqiman is the hal. It is the hal of who? Hal of khabar. And what is khabar? Siratu Rabbika. So Siratu is sahibul hal and Mustaqiman is the hal. And this is the case when hal is the hal of khabar. Okay. Ma yanzuruna illa sayhatam wahidatan tahuzuhum wahum yakhissimun. Now, ma negation, yanzuruna mudare number 3, it has built-in file, and that is hum. Illa sayhatam wahidatan, it's basically yanzuruna sayhatam wahidatan, but to make it emphatic, illa has been brought here. Okay, so ma yanzuruna, they nazara mean to wait for something. Ma yanzuruna, they are not waiting, illa except sayhatan, a cracking sound, wahidatan, just one. They are waiting only for one cracking sound. Now, please pay attention. Sayhatan, wahidatan is the maf'ul. Maf'ul for yanzuruna, because yanzuruna is fail and file, and sayhatan wahidatan is the mawsuf sifa as maf'ul. Right? Now, tahuzuhum, tahuzu, tahuzu is number 4 in the mudare. Yahuzu, and number 4 will be tahuzu. And why it is tahuzu? Because this tahuzu is coming for this sayhatan. And tahuzu means that she will hold them. Tahuzu means she will hold, and hum mean them. So basically, please pay attention. This tahuzu is the fail mudare number 4, and hum is the maf'ul, and tahuzu has built in file, and that is he, she, or hiya. Okay, please pay attention to this one. You may be thinking that this tahuzuhum, what is the role of this sentence tahuzuhum? Now, in this case, this tahuzuhum, it can be called that this tahuzuhum is actually the sifa. Sifa for who? This sayhatan wahidatan. This tahuzuhum is a complete jumla, but this complete jumla is playing the role of sifa for sayhatan wahidatan. And please listen this point very carefully. We have seen this kind of example in the past as well. I said in the past that sometimes you see a complete sentence and there's no wow and there's nothing before that. Then what is the role of that sentence? It is very likely that that sentence is playing the role of sifa for something which came before it. As in this case, Ta'khuzuhum is a complete jumla because ta'khuzu is fail and file and hum is maf'ul. This complete jumla is playing the role of sifa for this one, and then wahum yakhissimun. Waw haliya, hum is mubtada, yakhissimun fail mudare as the khabar. Khabar for who? Khabar for this hum. Hum yakhissimun is a complete jumla ismiya, and this complete jumla ismiya is playing the role of hal. Hal of who? Hal of these people who are yanzuruna. Those people who are waiting, and yanzuruna has a built-in file that was hum. So hum is the sahibul hal, and hum yakhissimun is the hal of those people. Now let's translate one more time. They are not waiting except one cracking sound. Takhuzuhum. This cracking sound will hold them. It will take hold of them. Wahum yakhissimun. And while they are arguing with each other, they are making argumentation, they are having this back and forth, and in this situation that cracking sound will take hold of them. Okay, it is basically regarding the hypocrites. Okay, next one, ayuhibbu ahadukum an ya'kula lahma akhihi maitan. Now this is istifham, interrogation. Yuhibbu fail mudare, number one. Ahadukum, please pay attention. Ahadu ism in rafa status. Built-in file of yuhibbu will be cancelled, and ahadu will become the outside file, but ahadu is connected with the kum. So ahadukum mudaf ilay will play the role of file. Ayuhibbu ahadukum, does one of you like or loves? Does one of you like or love? Now look at this one. If I say that does one of you like, the question is like what, right? Which means that now you are waiting for maf'ul. Clear? Now look at this one. An ya'kula lahma akhihi maitan. Please listen this point very carefully. It is the time of revision of al-masdar al-mu'awwal. Right? Look at this one. Whenever you have an, and after that you have mudare in nasab status, because of an, mudare becomes mansub. This is the case when an will be called harf masdariya. One more time. An will be called harf masdariya. And this next complete sentence will play the role of sila. Harf masdariya and sila together will become like one word. And in this case, that one word is actually maf'ul. Why? Because like I said before, you are waiting for maf'ul. Why? Because when I say, does one of you like what? So you are waiting for the maf'ul, because al-masdar al-mu'awwal plays different roles. Sometime mubtada, sometime khabar, sometime file, sometime maf'ul. In this case, it is going to play the role of maf'ul because you are waiting for the maf'ul. And how will you label all of that? Please pay attention to this one. An harf masdariya, ya'kula fail mudare mansub, lahma maf'ul of ya'kula, akhihi. Now lahma akhihi are connected. Why? Akhi is in jar status and lahma is not a preposition. So lahma akhihi, please pay attention. Lahma is mudaf, akhihi is mudaf ilay, but akhihi itself is also mudaf mudaf ilay. Okay, so which means ya'kula is fail and file, and lahma akhihi is the maf'ul. And what about maitan? Maitan is the hal. It is the hal of who? It is the hal of akhi. And because in this case, as you can see, that akhi is mudaf ilay. So basically, it is the hal of mudaf ilay. And this mudaf ilay is actually part of maf'ul. Now, let's wrap up this whole thing. Please listen this point very carefully. A istifham yuhibbu fail mudare, ahadukum, complete ahadukum as mudaf mudaf ilay is the file of yuhibbu, and then from an all the way till maitan is the maf'ul, and this maf'ul is not normal maf'ul. This is al masdar al muawwal fi mahalli nasab. This is how you will call it, al masdar al muawwal fi mahalli nasab. Okay, from an all the way till end. Let me take up waman arada al akhirata. Man, obviously there are many possibilities that man could be for istifham, but that will be if you are asking a question. Okay, man could be of ism mausul or man could be of shartiya. In this case, if you look at all the possibilities, you will see that this man is ism mausul. Okay, man, whoever. Arada, now man will be called ism mausul. Arada al-akhirata. This arada al-akhirata is a complete jumla as the sila. Okay, this mausul and sila together is going to play the role of mubtada, because mausul and sila becomes like one thing, and then this one thing plays different roles. In this case, it is going to play the role of mubtada. Okay, so man is a mausul, arada is fail madi, number 1 in the madi chart. It has built-in file, and that is huwa. Al-akhirata, al-akhirata is the maf'ul of arada. So arada al-akhir is a complete jumla, and this complete jumla is playing the role of sila, and the sila, mausul and sila together is the mubtada. Now look at next one. Wasa'alaha sa'yaha. It is not ended yet, which means that the sila part, arada al-akhirata part, is connected with the next one. So not only, so man arada al-akhirata, whoever, arada mean intended, whoever intended the akhirah, whoever intended the next life. Wasa'alaha sa'yaha. So this vow is telling you that it is that the sila part is still connected. So vow will be called atifa, and sa'a is again fail madi. It has built-in file, and that built-in file will be huwa. Laha jar majroor mutaalliq bil sa'a, and sa'yaha. Look at this one, sa'yaha. Now obviously this ha is a attached pronoun. That thing is clear. Now pronoun could be attached with ism, it could be attached with the fail. Now this sa'ya it's not a fail. So sa'ya is actually ism, and this sa'ya was actually sa'yan, and this sa'yan was the maf'ul for sa'a. But because sa'ya has become mudaf, so tanween has been removed, and sa'yan has become sa'ya, and ha is the attached pronoun. So basically sa'yaha is a mudaf mudaf ilay, and this mudaf mudaf ilay is playing the role of maf'ul for this sa'a. So sa'a fail madi, it has file huwa. Laha jar majroor mutalliq, sa'yaha is the maf'ul. So basically, look at this one now. Man is a mawsool, arad al akhirata wa salaha sa'yaha. This whole thing will become the sila. And inside this whole thing, arad al akhirata is matuf alay, and sa'alaha is matuf, and waw is the ataf. So basically what I'm trying to say is that arad al akhirata wa sa'alaha sa'yaha is whole thing is the sila. Man is a mawsool, and arad al akhirata wa sa'alaha sa'yaha is the sila. Mawsool and sila together mubtada. Wa huwa mu'minun. This vow is haliya, that when all of this is happening, when someone is intending for akhirah, wasa'a, and he is making effort, laha, for it, sa'yaha, like the effort of it, which means the way it deserves to make effort. Sa'yaha literally means its effort, but you can understand it's a metaphorical speech. Allah is saying that whoever intended for akhirah and he does effort the way it deserves to make effort, wahuwa mu'minun. And the situation is when this person is making all of this effort, he is a mu'min. He is a mu'min. So huwa mu'minun is a complete jumla ismiya. Huwa mubtada and mu'minun is the khabar, and this complete jumla ismiya is playing the role of hal. And whose hal is this? It is the hal of this person who is arada, who is inside of arada, huwa, who is inside of sa'a, huwa. So basically huwa is the saibul hal, and hal is huwa mu'minun. This is the hal of the, and by the way, khabar part of this ayah I did not include it. You may be thinking that if that first part is the mubtada and this is the hal, where is the khabar part? Khabar part I did not include in this one, in this example, because I just only want to highlight this bit. Otherwise in this ayah khabar part is given as well. So inshallah, this was the last example,